like my car, just louder.
Welcome to Verde Canyon Railroad. These powerful FP7 locomotives are 2 of only 10 remaining in North America, and today they travel deep into the Arizona wilderness on a scenic railway accessible only by train. This isn't just a scenic ride, it's a 4-hour, 40-mile journey aboard an engineering marvel designed to transport copper ore over 100 years ago. Let's check it out.
My name is Sterling, and I am on location.
We're here at Verde Canyon Railroad. I'm with Roman. What do you do here, buddy?
I'm the Assistant General Manager in DSLE. DSLE stands for Designated Supervisor of Locomotive Engineers.
That's fantastic. So I heard a rumor that this is more than just a tourist train.
It is. It's an old ATSF freight line, and it is still active to this day. We still run freight about 5 to 6 days a week.
Now, does the train have a special route it takes different than the freight?
No, it's the same 40-mile track. The excursion part only runs on the first 20 and then return.
Okay.
As locomotive engineers, individuals like Roman are the primary train operators. And to better illustrate this, he invited me up the ladder for a closer look.
You can climb in here.
I'm surprised you don't have a more comfortable looking seat.
You know, these are actually pretty comfortable.
Nah. So, engineer, you don't really drive, but you control throttles and brakes and watch temperature?
Absolutely, yeah. We like to consider it operating.
Okay.
As you can see, there's no steering wheel, foot brake, or gear selector. There is a forward, neutral, and reverse, which is what these keys here are for. They're called reversers.
Okay.
Then you've got your locomotive air brakes.
Okay. That's pretty cool. What kind of horsepower does this bad boy have?
These are V16, 1500 horsepower, roots blown, General Motors.
V16 though. So like your Fiero V6, but bigger. Or your big truck with its V8, but bigger. Alright, so I'm going to get over here and learn the basics of maybe how to operate. Over here's my transmission forward, reverse, neutral.
This is actually your throttle.
Oh, throttle.
So
Alright, what's this? Oh, amperes. Alright.
That tells you how much lower you're getting down to your traction motor.
Traction motors are the electric motor used for propulsion. The horn, however, typically relies on compressed air from the brakes.
No alarm, we will be honking the air horn here just for filming purposes.
Okay. Ready? It's like my car, just louder.
It is much louder.
Yeah. All right, so disengage. How do you like that now? I mean, visibility's not bad as long as you're 70 feet out.
Yeah, the visibility is kind of cut short because we are in these old vintage locomotives, designed high nose.
The Bulldog nose was popular in GM diesel electric locomotives from the late 30s to 1970.
Yes! This thing's massive. It's V16 engines, pretty exciting. It's running 1500 horsepower. We're gonna tow all that over there. I don't have a lantern to swing. Good times. That thing's pretty neat. It is not tiny in there. There's lots of room.
It's time for the 40-mile excursion. Aboard one of the open-air cars, we wave goodbye to Roman
Ta-ta!
and join Verde Canyon Railroad's longtime marketing and passenger services pro, Teresa, for what I could already tell was going to be an epic trip. Immediately, we're surrounded by wilderness country, following the Verde River and passing by mountains, ravines, and even some ancient Sinagua ruins tucked into high cliff faces that rise above the tracks. Traveling parallel to the river, we were soon approaching the first of several trestles. This one, known as the Turntable Bridge, is retired from a railway roundhouse, which is a circular building that stores locomotives. The turntable is what would then maneuver rolling stock in different directions towards the building. Pretty cool, huh? As we traveled a little further down the line, we skirted Coconino National Forest on the right and Prescott National Forest on the left. Pretty soon, we were coming upon the most prominent trestle on the route, the SOB Bridge. Certified by the Superintendent of Bridges, hence the name, this thing is 175 feet long and crosses over a 150-foot deep basalt gorge. Here's where it really starts to feel rugged. The Verde Canyon Railroad is traveling along the tracks of the Clarkdale, Arizona Central Railroad. a short line operating from a connection with BNSF. In the beginning, it took over 700 men with picks, shovels, and dynamite to build this route between the mountain and the river. Nowadays, and inside these vintage rail cars, you can relax with a tasty beverage and in climate-controlled bliss. A variety of drinks for adults and kids alike are available to enjoy in any of the 12 passenger cars. I thought it only fair for the camera crew and I to experience a bit of indulgence, especially since Teresa and I were about to sit down and feast on some snacks.
Teresa, what are we going to have here?
We are going to have some heavy appetizers, as we call them, some gourmet meats, cheeses, crackers, fruits and vegetables, brownie bites, and a strawberry whip that we make special every day.
Well, we should start then. Let's try this heavy appetizer. So you've been here 21 years. How long has this railroad been operating like this?
We are in our 31st year right now.
That is awesome.
It's wonderful. I'm almost to 3 million people having appreciated this canyon, ridden on this train, enjoyed the trip, and never impacted the canyon, the wildlife, or the history that we have to offer.
When was this railway made?
It was laid in 1911. So think about that, 250 men lived in this canyon for over a year with their dynamite and their mules. It wasn't all bad though, because as they progressed the rail line up into the canyon, they would build little towns and their families would come out and stay with them, cook for them. They were able to live this lifestyle to build this rail line so that they could come from Clarkdale to meet the Burlington Northern Line and take the copper out into the world. There were 5 railroads that came down that mountain into our little town of Clarkdale to the smelter grounds, which are right along our railroad tracks today. But back then there were 30 miles of railroad inside that copper grounds, moving the copper all around. Then they'd put it right on this rail line. This is the exact authentic rail line they ran on, and they would take it out into the world.
As Teresa and I continued our chat, we were joined by passenger train manager Casey.
Thanks for joining us, Casey.
Thanks for having me.
What do you do on the Verde Canyon Railroad?
So I'm the passenger train manager. So for 4 hours a day, I get to come ride a train, hang out with passengers from all over the world, meet people. But I'll give you all the cool history of the canyon, show you things, point things out to you. Some of my favorite stuff out here in the canyon.
And we get to see it both going and coming, right?
Yes.
What's so great about the Verde Canyon?
That would definitely be all of the scenery that we pass, the wildlife, all of the things that you can see on this train that you can't see another way. You're only getting back here on these rails. So the exclusivity of what we're seeing out here is what makes this so awesome.
Well, let's go check that out.
Let's do it.
All right.
By the time we got outside, the train had reached its halfway point of Perkinsville, a ghost ranch destination where the locomotives disconnect from the rail cars and move along a siding to reconnect at the opposite end of the train for the return trip to Clarkdale. Perkinsville is named after a cattle ranching family established here in 1900. 12 years later, a train station opened to service the copper mine. Railroad buildings included the depot, a water tower, and station master's house. At its peak, there were approximately a dozen families living here, as well as a school, general store, and post office. By the 1950s, with the smelter closure and introduction of diesel locomotives, this train stop was no longer necessary and the area became a ghost town. We were officially on the return leg of the journey, but there was still so much to see and experience. In 1910, and 2 years before the tracks opened on the Verde Canyon Railroad, Arizona was producing more copper than any other state in the nation. As Teresa mentioned earlier, 12 active copper mines employed nearly 10,000 workers. And in 1915, the smelter in Clarkdale was built.
So Casey, we're about to hit a tunnel.
Yes.
It seems like a pretty short railway for such a nice tunnel. What's the deal?
It's a 734-foot tunnel. It was built by a Swedish firm. It's supported by timbers only for about 30 feet on the very end. Other than that, it's all a freestanding tunnel. 734 feet long. It's pitch black inside like it is right now. We do eventually see the light at the end of the tunnel coming up here in just a minute.
And this is where you can go towards the light and it's okay.
Yes, absolutely. So they made about 3.5 feet of progress a day on this tunnel. It took them about 6 months to dig this tunnel. And now we get through it in about 30 seconds.
All right, great. That's worth it.
Continuing along the tracks during our return journey, Casey and I discussed in more detail the history of these locomotives.
So you guys rescued these engines?
Yeah, so we got these engines from the Alaska State Railroad. They were as part of their Centennial program for their Centennial engines, engine 1510 and 1512. They were out there in Alaska. They used them for about 10 years before they retired them, almost scrapped them. We ended up getting those engines in the late 90s. We painted them with our eagle-inspired motif on the sides and put them into service right here on the Verde Canyon Railroad.
That's fantastic.
So there's Turtle Rock right there in written history of this canyon. They think it was a common meeting place for the railroad builders, for cowboys, for all kinds of people. They think that because right below where the tail would be, there's evidence of a warming fire up on the top. There's soot on the bottom of that rock where they would burn a warming fire. So it seems like quite a hike to me, but that's where they would go up there. They'd have a nice visual of the area and warm themselves up.
And they'd go up there just to have a good chat.
There you go. I like that idea.
So coming right over here is going to be President's Canyon. Up this slot, we're going to be able to see it.
President's Canyon and Turtle Rock are among several impressive visuals Casey pointed out to me as we pressed on. The landscape here is truly amazing, offering new textures, colors, shapes, and forms around every turn. So many different rock formations greeted us with panoramic views on both sides of the track. Honestly, it's impossible to see everything in just one trip, but Teresa assured me they have that covered.
So we do evening rides May through September, and we want people to know that we're not just an adult train. So the whole month of December is the magical Christmas journey. It's our own private Christmas train.
If you bring the kids on the train and they're 90, do you have to bring them home?
Usually it's the parents that we leave at the coal mine.
Oh, okay.
We were getting close to the end of the ride, as the canyons and rock formations gave way to the valley around Clarkdale, of which the Verde River flows. Soon we found ourselves passing by the slag heap, a testament to 40 years of copper production, and then finally arriving back at the station. With all of our gear, Casey was nice enough to escort my camera crew through a couple of cars and towards the station platform so we could safely disembark. Meanwhile, Teresa took me over to a nearby train car to check out something pretty cool.
So this is our museum.
Okay.
So it's in a refurbished train car. A lot of the older locomotives like these were the ones that hauled the copper ore down the mountain from Jerome to here at the turn of the century. So they worked hard.
So not that long ago, people had to use oil cans like this as lubrication because we didn't have Zert fittings, we didn't have the lines that we do now. So they'd have to add the oil and run around and kind of pour it into all the different places. These are just some of what the maintenance of way guys have found along the track. The maintenance of way go out every day ahead of the train, making sure the track's ready to go. They pull out cracked ties, bad ties, throw them off the edge, put in new ties, shovel all the gravel around it, hammer in the spikes, and then when they get a chance, they'll come and collect all the ties. It takes them about 3 days on this 40-mile line. We had a fantastic time with Verde Canyon Railroad. Now we've gone all over the valley, we've seen a lot of wildlife, we've seen great rivers, fantastic rocks. And at the end of the day, I've heard there's a snack bar close by.
There is. Let's go.
All right, let's go check it out. Thanks for joining us.